Let's begin tonight with some contests, grievances, and counter reactions on some of the issues that have been generated in Abia State in the southeast region of the country. The Senatorial-elect of Abia North and former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, has been given certificate of return, well, defeating his opponent, the sitting Senator Mao Oabonwa, with over 10,000 votes. Well, you can see then that Senator Oabonwa is not happy. He wants INEC to conduct a supplementary election, a second ballot in the Senatorial district, because he believes the margin of victory is lower than the cancelled votes. Joining me from our Abuja studio, the agent to Senator Mao Oabonwa in that election, and a lawyer, Mr. Ukairo. He joins us from our Abuja studio. We'll be getting reactions also from representing someone who will be speaking for the former governor, Orji Uzor Kalu. Thank you so much, Mr. Ukairo, for your time on the program today. It does look like the election was concluded. The announcement was made of a winner. That was the former governor, Orji Uzor Kalu. What exactly is the grievance from Senator Mao Oabonwa?
Thank you very much. It's simple. Let me start this way. Let me say first that election is simple mathematics. It involves counting of votes. And in that counting of votes, votes are ascertained. And when votes are ascertained, there are certain laws, rules that guide the ascertainment of votes. One of those rules and guidelines is what we call the margin of lead principles. That margin of lead principles, simply put, says that in an election where the leading candidate has a vote that is less than the cancelled votes. In other words, where the cancelled votes will still have impact in the outcome of the election, you do not declare a winner. That is why we have something like we call lawful votes, lawful return. It is not just issue of having majority votes. It is whether that majority vote dovetails into a declaration of a winner. And that is why in several places since this 2019 election, INEC had been meticulous in calling for supplementary or a rerun election. In that of Abia North, the figures declared showed clearly that the former governor was ahead with 10,400 votes. Cancelled votes as declared by INEC, which is not even acceptable to us, was said to be 38,000 plus. Simple mathematics shows that if you do a deduction, 28,000 votes are outstanding and way and above that of the 10,400 votes. It is on that basis that we are saying that we cannot be treated differently, because Rule 33E of INEC guidelines makes it very clear what happens in such situation. It says very clearly, where the margin of lead between the two leading candidates in an election is not in excess of the total number of voters registered in polling units where elections are not held or voided in line with sections 26 and 53 of the Electoral Act, the returning officer shall decline to make a return until polls have taken place in the affected polling units and results collated into the relevant forms for declaration and return. And it is, let's bring it down.
Mr. Ukairo, I mean, obviously, quickly, if I may ask you this, obviously, the margin between Senator Oabonwa and the Senator-elect Orji Uzor Kalu is about 10,400 votes. But now, Orji Uzor Kalu has been declared the winner, and you know what the law says about this kind of situation. Redress now is going to be at the tribunal. Are you looking towards that, or what exactly is your plan? What are you asking for?
We are looking towards that, but let me say this, that any society that depends on legal justice to address wrongs should really re-examine itself. If you did it in Abia South Senatorial Zone and you did it in Abia North Federal House of Representatives election, and you did it in Sokoto, Kano, Plateau, Benue, Bauchi, Adamawa. We are saying, why do you have to waste taxpayers' money for an exercise you undertook not to conclude, and you want to truncate halfway, and all you are saying, go to tribunal.
Let me hold you for, let me pause you for a moment. Sorry, Mr. Okairo. Let's hear from Mr. Udo Uduma, also a lawyer. He's on the phone with us from Ohafia in Abia State. He's speaking on behalf of Senator-elect Ojus Okalu. Mr. Uduma, thank you so much for your time today. What would be your reaction? You've heard what Mr. Okairo has said. What's the defense? Do you think INEC erred in this case?
Mr. Sharon, thank you for having me on the program. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you for having me on the program, Mr. Sharon. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Program. Yeah, very well, my dear. Yes. First, Mr. Cairo, in his argument, I called it on what he called margin of least principle. And that is not a statement of law, according to him. It is what he calls the principle of margin of least. But in any case, like you did ask him whether he has approached the election petition tribunal, that is the forum that is available to anybody who feels aggrieved to pursue his grievance.
Mr. Uduma, I will plead with you to mute your television set because I could hear the feedback from your television set. If you do that quickly, then we'll come back to you. Let me come back to you, Mr. Okairo, as Mr. Udo turns off his TV set or turns the volume down. A big question here is that the announcement has been made. In the eye of the law, the announcement by the returning officer is almost law, is almost binding. How do you account for that? Have you approached INEC, or what are you doing?
Thank you very much. We wrote several petitions to INEC, and nothing came out of it. But let me say this. INEC is being selective with truth. In Imo State, they said even though there was a declaration, the man said it was under duress. So what is more under duress than making a return that cannot stand the text, the express text? And let me say that I know Uduma very well. He was agent to the Abia candidate at the collation center. And he stood with me, shoulder to shoulder, leg to leg, hand to hand, to say that that declaration cannot be made.
Mr. Okairo, we can hear clearly Mr. Udo Uduma now. Because let's give him some more time to also speak. Mr. Udo, now that we have your audio loud and clear, you can shoot and hit the nail on the head. If you react to what Mr. Okairo has said, do you think INEC was right in giving Senator-elect Ojus Okalu declaration as the Senator-elect of Abia North?
Thank you, Mr. Shehu. I hope you can hear me clearly now. Can you hear me clearly?
Absolutely. Go ahead, please. We can hear you clearly.
Oh, very well. Thank you very much. Yeah, like Mr. Cairo said, I and Cairo engaged ourselves robustly on the election day. We were both agents. And at the end of the robust engagement, the returning officer, in accordance with law, discharged his duties and made a declaration in favor of the former governor, the Ojus Okalu. And he is entitled to so do under the law, and he did perfectly that. However, like he did hint to Mr. Cairo, whether he is going to take the option available to them, which is to approach the law court. And I'm amazed at his response as a lawyer. You should have known that the appropriate thing to do for anybody who is aggrieved is to approach the election tribunal, which I am glad to announce to you that Mr. Amao Wabonga has in fact done that. Then I now have a copy of the petition filed by Mr. Mao against the election of Dr. Joseph Carlo. As I'm sure, has a copy of it. In paragraph 3 of the petition, let me read to you what they are about. The application of law for a candidate to be returned elected. They are bad laws, and I'm quoting them. The petitioners are bad that for a party to be properly and also respond as the winner of the election under the electoral law and guidelines of the first respondent. It must be the candidate who proved the highest number or majority of the lawful votes at the election. That is the environment. So when the hero is not contesting the fact that Dr. Joseph Carlo did not prove the highest number of votes cast.
Mr. Uduma Udo, well, I'm afraid that we're out of time on this part of the conversation, and we need to leave it at that. My sincere thanks to you for your intervention, and Mr. Ukwa Cairo from Abuja Studio. Many thanks.